you know. Oh. And as I was saying earlier, Mick, before you came on, um, Tito Lu actually trained under Yamaguchi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of Goju. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yeah. I was. I had the chance to train under him. You know, in Japan. Not only with him. I also had a chance to train with Wang Ki of Tang Suzu. You know.
Yeah. So that's Tito Lu's what do you call? Because what style did they really do in Karate Kid? It was Tang Sudo because it was Pat Johnson, who did the choreographer, and he was the guy that trained everybody. And then we all know
Yeah.
that the founder of Goju was Miyagi.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, can I, Ferdy, can I explain the movie?
Sure, sure,
What
Paul.
is
Let's get Tito Lu's take on the movie.
the first movie, Karate Kid?
Yes, Bob.
The two versions of teaching, you know. One is really concentrated in fighting, and the other one mastering. You see, Miyagi Sensei, when he was teaching Daniel San, he was teaching him basic, you know, all this cleaning, wax out, wax in, all these things. These are basic that I use in my teaching up to now. Forehand, backhand. That means, wax out, wax in. So that's the most important block for me is that, and then But the other one is shows the other old school strict, very strict, very strict. It's like military thing that and the instructor you have to follow what the instructor wants. So you see, the 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 most important thing there is the philosophy of Miyagi and the philosophy of the instructor of the other school. So I always ask my students to watch that. There's another one that also copied that. Who's the actor? This another version of that, like Karate Kid, and then there was a tournament too. Uh, I, that's another movie. Yes, was nice. And another movie, Best of the Best.
Oh yeah, best of the best. That was good. That was
Shot
Taekwondo.
by three brothers.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Rees.
US and Korea. Yeah. And then at the end, they 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 show that martial arts is not really hurting your opponent. Like I always say, you try to you try just to control, you know, your opponent. That's why we have tournaments. Tournaments before we didn't wear gloves, no face mask, but there was no injury because the people who are participating in the tournament has that control, you know, has, has that control in punching. But now tournaments are different, you know, tournaments are different. I I went to Long Beach. Our team was fourth place out of four countries, and almost won the world. The Filipinos. Can you imagine that? But like I said, the rules were easy for us because the rules were just half point and full point. And no face punching, you know. That's why for us small guys, it was so good to go on and Jakusuk, reverse punch, block the foot of the opponent. Most of them are big guys. But now I said I don't think we could do that anymore because the rules now is like what you have uh, um, 3 minutes bout, you know. So they count accumulation of points. I said, even the Japanese who loves to do reverse punch are now having hard time with the Europeans because the Europeans now are, you know, using leg so much with the leg. So I can say Karate Kid is an inspirational to those who are beginning martial arts. What they want to be as a teacher and where the basic will start, you know. So that's how I look at it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Hopefully, I still see that movie, you know. I still watch that. It just, I try to understand Miyagi every time the Karate Kid, the next movie, the philosophy, you know, the philosophy, the teachings, how masters treat their students and how masters treat the situation, you know. Even though they're pressed, they still have the chance to, you know, fix things. So that is how I look at it. I wanna share that to you. So if you look at the first movie, I always tell my students, don't look at the fighting. Look at the philosophy, the crane stance, you know, the bird stance, you know. So all of these are, there's something to that. Why it's had to be like that. The balance, you know, standing on one foot in the shore, you know. So that's my opinion. I just wanna share that to you.
Well, thank
No
you.
longer.
Thank you. That's a beautiful, beautiful sentiment, beautiful opinion. I appreciate that.
Yeah, especially, you know, it's true that it was very inspirational to a lot of people back in the 80s. You know, it got a lot of, you know, a lot of people to join the martial arts. You know, and it's, you know, it's a classic. Karate Kid, you know, it's a classic. You know, one of those that, you know, you just want to watch, and it's just a fun movie. And Cobra Kai, the Cobra Kai series, it just takes off. It just, you know, it's just perfect. It's a perfect you know, continuation of Johnny Lawrence and the villain Daniel LaRusso.
So they have a series.
Oh yes, do you have Netflix? There's a series book, Netflix. If you have Netflix on your TV, it's,
Oh.
you'll.
Daniel is not the villain.
Well,
I don't know Mrs. LaRusso. So, see, back in the day, Sandy was the president of the Tiger Beat Ralph Macchio fan club.
I think there's like, you know, I mean, the way they took the Cobra Kai storyline from the original Karate Kid storyline, they do make Danny not look like he's in the greatest light.
He isn't. He isn't. I mean, the way he manipulated Miyagi, got his fortune that Miyagi made back in Milwaukee from the Arnold's.
Miyagi had a house in his like.
He had a secret fortune that he made in Milwaukee.
Miyagi is Okinawan. He's from the Nahate school. The three schools in Okinawa, Nahate, Shorite, and Tomarite. You have to understand that these schools, most of the styles now came from Nahate.
Yeah.
The go-to style, Kahate. The Shoryu and the Shotokan came from Shorite. And the combination of, the styles is what's this? Kahate, Shorite, Tomarite. You know, in America, now, karate, you cannot anymore just concentrate in one system, you know, because you're running a business. So you have to put things inside, you know. Now, with Miyagi, yeah. Who's this? Miyagi is a student also in Japan. Japan was the one who made popular with karate. So Joe's like, so the Miyagi system of teaching is like MMA, the old days. Teacher and student.
Yeah. Hey, tempo. We have two. Excuse me, Tito. Excuse me for a second. Let's welcome Tom and Joe. Joe, I want to introduce you to Shihan Blue, who does both FMA and he's done a lot of karate. He's actually studied with Yamaguchi Sensei, and he was the youngest referee ever in international competition in karate, and he's been also has a extensive career in the Philippine military, and he served on the presidential security. Whenever Marcos went around in his area, he was in charge of security. So we're looking at a real badass. And he's like my martial art uncle for me and Tom, and even Sandy and Andres. Yeah. So he was giving us his experience also with him being in Japan under Yamaguchi Sensei, and also he studied with Huang Qi of Tang Sudo.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
During my time, I was sent by Philippine Karate Association because they wanted me to be chief referee of the World Championship in the Philippines. So I said, why me? Why me? I was just a 4th degree black belt. So why me? You know?
just.
You have all these Japanese masters coming, Takahashi and all these Miyagi, all these kids. I was like, my teacher said, if you will not try that, you will never learn how to do that, you know. And I want a Filipino to be chief referee for the Philippines. So I started there and okay.
What's that interference?
World Championship. We were lucky because that time President Marcos supported us. So we have a tour of the Philippines. All the central bank was the president told them to sponsor tournament around. So we traveled around. So I did not meet these people here. I went for the World Championship in Long Beach. That's part of the team.
Sorry, can everybody go on mute?
I'm trying to figure it out. I was able to, pass by Japan again, meet Yamaguchi Sensei, and he asked me if I could show him, so that for my Kodan. I said, okay. yeah, during my time, we were really trading, especially in platform patterns, in katas. That is so special. I was a fighter all the time. I love to fight the bigger weights because the rule was the rule before was half point, full point. You score with a half point and then you win. But now I said the big boys now accumulation of points. I don't think we could do that. Even the kata, I'm starting. My shoulders will always win because I will always adjust the katas like real fighting. You know. But I always start the kata slow. I always tell them slow to learn, slow to forget. The more you train, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you understand. The most important thing in martial arts is evolvement. That's why I just created that word, evolvement, mindset, body mechanics. So, because most of the competition, they look at how you move. When you say your goju, when you say their advanced form, you have to do it. No mistake. No? And when they invited me one time to a tournament here in Jersey, I couldn't give a point because the tournament, they were like boxing. Okay, I'm used to point system, but not 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 like boxing. I can't give a point like that because it's dangerous for somebody to participate. You can knock out the person. It's good you always watch your face. Yeah, you can do control. But anyway, I learned so much. I learned so much more of the philosophy. I sat down with Yamaguchi Sensei, an interpreter, will explain to me all those things, the importance of basic. There are 7 secrets of Goju-do, and the last is master the basic. So I use that in my teaching. Basic, progressive, and refinement of the basic. Because when you go to combat, you start with combat. And then, like now, we have tournaments. There's no more, unless you're in the streets. But more now, they want to participate in combat sports, like in the Philippines, like the SEA Games. A lot of good martial artists, but it's more about hurting people. You cannot do that in tournaments. That's why Arnis de Mano, at first they didn't want to accept it because it's sick fighting. No, you have to use padded stick, but they changed the rules now. Even Kyokushin, Kyokushin used to knock you out, but now they changed rules because they want to participate in the World Championship. I think 2020, the World Olympics in Japan. So that's it. Like we were young before, When you're young, you wanna fight. Now they're asking me, the guys now, the old guys, Master Lu, I said, I do not have time for karate now. I cannot even eat my food. I got sick for 5 months in hospital. I'm just recovering. So I'm starting to, something hit me, affected my whole system. So anyway, I said, just master the basic. When you do the basic, you will see something that will come out. You will always see something that will come out. So I say I start with I call it Tai Chi Kata. We do it like Tai Chi, and then I put the emphasis. My school always win, and my students are not from the city; they're from the suburbs. So we always win when we go to the city. It's because they thought, oh, because their program is international. No, it's not international. We have more time to train. The more you train, the more you learn.
Yes.
So, we train 5 hours in the university because the state university, the students stay at home, stay at the school. So we have more time for that. So when we go to the city, they were surprised. You know, they were surprised because these people are not from the city, but you know. So anyway, that's my contribution. We're no longer young, but it's we can. There are 3 levels for fighting: defense, offense, and counter-offensive. You master that. You can use that in combat. You can use that in sports. You know, and then you have the four classical system. But you know, we were supposed to do that fairly, but I got sick. The first systema, you know, the 4 classical system. I included one which belongs to the 4 classical system, circular, the tricircular, because that's my system. Amara is circular. You know. So I told them, because my students in America, as soon as I teach them basic, they did their complete ready. I said, no, it took me years. Up to now, I'm still studying. Still studying the program. You know, there is no end to, especially martial arts education. There is always something new. That is from the old school. That's why sometimes you see people publish, you know, you have to know what word to use when you teach, because the student might mistake, understand you, you know. So anyway, yeah,
That's the book.
that book, Wiley did that, but it's not complete because my complete book was the red book.
Yeah, he has another book that he wants to. I know he's looking to. He wanted to show me because he said that the publisher took some liberations and changed it. I don't want to go. I don't want to go there online. But to answer your question, Joe, yeah, I like to address him as Grandmaster. He doesn't say he was a Grandmaster, but when Grandmaster Nene Tortal addressed him as Grandmaster, I'm not going to complain. So he says he's not, but when Nene Tortal says he's a Grandmaster, then Grandmaster Lou, and he is a legend in the Filipino martial arts.
So you one of the legends of not only karate, but also Filipino martial arts.
Yes, he is. He is.
One of the main people who helped improve the Philippines. One of the people who, and I'm sitting there going, wow, I've always wanted to meet him and to see him here and be able to, sum up Bull. Thank you so much. I am so happy that you brought him here. I'm really psyched. I haven't gotten the yellow book. I've seen it at one location, wasn't able to get it, but I'd like to find out about the red book and add to my collection. And
we'll get it signed for you too. Yeah.
That mean the world to me.
The red, my first book was a story of my story and the story of my son. My son died before he came to America, he was surprised with how he moves. How he very good. What instructor from Texas.
We're getting interference. Can somebody mute? I think it's Tom. Better. Sige po, you can continue. Yeah. Oh, and Joe, also Grandmaster Lou was also the combat instructor for the National Bureau of Investigations, basically the Philippines version of the FBI. So no joke. He's Grandmaster Lou is the real deal. No.
That was when I was younger.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I
Tito Lou, may tanong si Campo Joe. You have a question, Joe?
Yes. I wanted to ask Grandmaster Bay about his association with Huang Qi and Pang Sudo, and how he got involved with him regarding that. And then I have another question about technique.
Yeah. There are, well, Pang Sudo is like the old karate. So back to Pang Sudo. Huang Qi never joined Taekwondo. Instead, we used to call karate Korean karate. That is Huang Qi. So most of the guys, I remember when she came to the Philippines, I went around with him to the old schools in the Philippines. That's why one friend was surprised why he was telling me. I said, maybe you know me because during your time I was there with Huang Qi, and then we trained in Bacolod. So then I went to see him also. I was just lucky because during that time, the Philippine Karate Association supported me. We went to the Third World Championships, where I met everybody, That's why when I met who's this? The one very good in roundhouse kick, Bill Wallace. Bill Wallace, I met him. He was looking at me, and there was one also student of Gojo from New York. Said, "No," I said, "You used to be a pro. I met you." That was 1960 in Long Beach, California.
Don Van Cleef.
Yeah, but
Don Van Cleef, the Black Dragon.
Oh, the Black Dragon. The Black Dragon.
Yeah. So, but anyway, like I said, I always stick to basic. It's always basic. There's always something that will come out of the basic. Just remember, basic, progressive, and refinement of the basic. So I always tell my students, when they said, "Oh, Guru, I already mastered the basic." No. You have to put it progressive. Then you have to refine it. Because combat is not, you see, in combat, the five movements of the original Filipino art, cinco tiros, it becomes like a star. There is a movement to that, basic, and then when you already go to combat, it turns around, Even the crossover, my teacher said, what have you done with because I put some sticks. I said, you only can do this if you understand the art. So, one guy was telling me, oh, he's not teaching pure arnis. I said, there's no such thing as pure arnis. Everything is mixed with something else. Even Japanese karate, even Chinese karate, whatever it is mixed with something else. The only advantage of the Filipinos, a lot of these countries came there, brought their weapons. The Mahong came to the Philippines. The Americans came to the Philippines with their sword. The Japanese came, and then, you know, the Filipinos are very good in watching you and then copy you and then make, you know.
Also, in the Muslims in Mindanao, Muslim traders and the Chinese traders in the southern Philippines. That's why we had Kuntao. We had
Yeah. I started with that. Even stick fighting art of the Filipino. They were asking me what style. I said, my grandfather started it, but we didn't start with sword. We started with feather duster because I was young. But he always tells me, just master forehand backhand. All martial arts, there are two basic strikes. Forehand, backhand. So I always tell my student, master the forehand, backhand. So it's reversible. In stick fighting art, the block is a strike, the strike is a block. So anyway, so I can use that in karate, especially I wanted to show Tom, because they do Kyuso. There is a version in FMA that actually we were the one who created this. We were playing handball. I was doing VIP security for some VIP security in the government. So my teacher said, why can we use this, no? To block the person. So I said, you gonna carry that handball for the handball? No, we use our palm. We use our palm and to stop the person, you know. But you need a lot of practice. You know, my son, when he was stabbed, he was able to disarm these people in the streets with just using his palm. But like I said, it needs a lot of training. The more you train, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you understand. So when you understand, even the position of the person, you know, even the position, you know, if you do Filipino stick fighting art, I don't know if you're familiar with those generales, the 12 basic strikes. Everybody has that. Pressas teaches that, but you see how it started? It started with the 5 moves. And then they put another one down and then it went up again, you know. So I used to make a story about it. In the beginning, when Saint Michael drove Lucifer out of heaven, he was only using forehand backhand with a sword. You know? Now, when it came to the world, you know, they started putting this one. So because that is education. Forehand backhand that you can put anywhere on your opponent. That is what I always tell my students. You can put it downstairs, you can put it upstairs, you can, you know, whether it's a thrust, forehand thrust, backhand thrust, it's all forehand backhand. So if you understand that, it's easy for you to explain. Because the old school, they will tell you, like, my system is fraction. In the old school, they will tell you fraction. And I never understood that until my son, who plays guitar and who loves music, told me, Dad, that fraction is half note. So half note. So I have I have these 5 moves, original moves. One of them, where they was telling me, you know, the diagonal upward, which is a very deadly move in sword. His teacher was telling me, Aldabon, you know, that's a very deadly move because your sword comes from downstairs, and the rules of fighting with a sword, when the sword comes from up, you're under. The sword comes downward, you're on top, you know. So, and then you use the 5 movement, adhesion to stick your opponent, and then you have the push and pull, and then you have the circular. So there are 5 principles of fighting which the students have to understand. So, like I said, where they wanted to have a workshop, but I got sick, to explain to them the PERS system. You know, because the PERS system is very important. With that PERS system, I said you can fight. Because it's more about real fighting. So, but if you want to be a teacher, you have to understand the 4 classical system. There are 4 classical systems: quadrant, weaving, panning, and circular. So, you know, we wanted to start that, but I got sick.
And plus COVID came. We were planning that in March, and then, you know, Tito Lu got sick, and then COVID and everything, you know. But you know what, Joe, I'm gonna try to convince maybe Tito Lu to come down. Well, he actually lives in South Jersey, so maybe we can have him.
No.
We can have him go to Atlantic City. He's been to the Atlantic City event.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, again, you were one of the, like I said, when they talk about Goju in the Philippines, they can't go through a conversation without mentioning you, first of all. And another important feature I found, I wanted to ask you, because of your training in Goju and also in Tangsudo and also the Filipino martial arts, in competition, one of the strikes they don't call for a point is uraken, the back fist.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes with Riken, the uppercut, but mainly the back fist, they won't call as a point. Yet, you've studied 3 major systems that all use the back fist as an important part of their training. How do you feel about the back fist being called in tournament competition and as well in practical self-defense, whether it be FMA or Goju or Tangsudo, whatever it may be?
During my time, karate, back fist was not allowed. It's all straight forehand strike. But now they allowed back fist already, you know, bottom fist, back fist. Now in stick fighting, there is also a backhand strike, which is abanico, the fanning, but not all the styles know that, you know, I'm keeping that for my students. You know, the weaving strike, single weave, you have 1 and 2 under. So I said, the 1 is to engage the stick, so you know what, and then after the engagement of the stick, the backhand now can go to the body, or we call that pamintok, 1 and then to the head. Backhand is very deadly because the forehand is to mislead your opponent. Because the most important thing there is, when you do the forehand, you know how to move with a blind spot. When you engage the stick, both of you are doing forehand strike, high. And then when the stick meets, you move to the left, Now we are open now for a largo abanico, which are saying backhand. To us in karate is backhand. Even in fighting, backhand strike is terrible. Terrible. It can break your nose, But I changed that for VIP security. We use now the open palm, just to get out of the situation. So in stick fighting, that's one of the secret of my students, because most of the stick fighting art now in the Philippines of the old school, they all want to kill you. When they attack you, they I said, this is supposed to be a weapon. If both of you are hitting each other, then both of you are dead. One should stay alive, So I said, my teacher said, if you cannot block, there's no such thing as block. You get out of the target. So how do you get out of the target? If you are using solo baston or solo sword, you move to the blind spot on the right side of your opponent, and then the movement, there is a stationary changes, which you're open also to the counter, and there's another one, the movement from this point to that point, the diagonal movement. So it's very important to start with the foundation. The foundation is stances. Master the stances, forward, backward, side, and then when they got that, they go down diagonal up, forward, diagonal backward, It's, I remember Dr. Bijano, he asked me, can you do something similar to Bagua? Bagua, eight directions? I said, yeah. In the Philippines, we have that, the lapu-lapu style. That is the, when I teach private teaching, doesn't want to be a teacher, just want to learn, then I teach them. But what is important to me is the cross form. My son said, cross form. Very important in combat because you always get out of the strike. Karate, we go into the strike. As soon as we turn left, and then we punch, and then we bring back the right foot back to the other side. Now, my system, Amar Arcane, Systemum Fraction. We step right, turn left, like Moju, but when we attack you, the left foot goes over the other side. So you cannot attack us on the back. So when you do that so often, that's basic movement. When you go into combat, that is combat movement. Nobody can just attack you from the back because you're not moving like karate. Karate is more on the basic technique. But this one is more on the footwork for combat. Very nice. I've showed us to Tom, but we didn't have full time during the park. We didn't have really the time to exchange things. I like to design forms for my people. That's why I said there's nothing wrong. At first, I was not accustomed to students of mine going to another school without telling me, but now I understand. Because during our time, we were allowed to go around, but we have to master first our system. We master our system, then we go around, train with them, but there's an understanding between my teacher and the other teacher. So I learned Shotokan, you know. I even see some of my friends, they're old now, they're able to, some of them, you know, came to the Philippines. I only had the chance because they came to the Philippines and I was able to go to the country. You know, during that time I had all the authority to bring them around the city. I could, you know, I could call the police assist me with their patrol car. So Yamaguchi, I used to bring him around with a patrol car and a motorcycles. He enjoyed it. And then once he saw that, he said that, you know, so when I went to the country, they accepted me. You'll be surprised that Koga Yamaguchi gave me one book that now somebody published it and selling it for $500 the book. But the original book where he put my diploma, my rank was written in the book. You know. So anyway, that was I was just lucky. Not really. I told them I'm not really. During my time, tournaments was in my favor because it was only half point and full point. But now, a combination of points is different. So backhand, like I said, it's very good. I call it forehand and half strike. You have half strike Rosada, you have high strike Abadico, you have high strike Redonda, you have high strike Sinawali, and you have high strike Agabon. The one Perdi was saying, his teacher told me, a deadly technique. Yeah, it's deadly. Because first you engage with the stick and then you come under, you know. So, and then the mastery of Cinco Tiros. Cinco Tiros, the five moves. So, defense one, defense two. There are two kinds of Cinco Tiros. One is the quadrant movement, but all of them has thrusting. So you can change it, you can all use it blocking, you can use it for striking, you can combine it with a thrust, you know. And so I was happy preparing for that workshop with Birdie, then I got sick. Yeah, I got sick. Took me 5 months in the hospital because they biopsy my cyst in my pancreas. It was even cancerous, but I got infected. So that's why I'm starting to recover now. I'm happy that I'm able to come in to do martial art through this book. It inspires me, you know. Inspires me that I'm meeting people who also are master teacher, you know, master teacher of their art. You know? So only in America you can really concentrate in one art. If you have a school, you can just like teach just karate, you know. That's you have to put another art, you know. But you know, you have to include jiu-jitsu. You have to do everything that can bring in students, you know, because you're running a school. In the Philippines, I can concentrate in one art because everything was free for me. The university, I do tournaments in the university, and the government gives me trophies. So during my time, but when I came to America, I had a hard time. So I went to stick fighting because I said, still fighting, even not good, but you're Filipino. Anyway, that's my share to you guys. I hope one day when everything is normal, we can meet. You can ask questions. I'm all about basic. I'm all about basic. To me, basic is the one that Gogen Yamaguchi Sensei, is always tells us. Falcon will always tells us, basic is very important. So anyway, I'm happy that we're meeting friends to this program. My students maybe are watching.
Well, I keep this up. I keep this up so I don't listen. I think I'll probably edit this and put it on YouTube. Also,
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Grandma, yesterday, where are you? In New Jersey now. Where do you live? If you don't mind my asking.
Come again?
Yeah, he's asking po kung saan kayo nakatira sa Jersey.
Ako, I live in Delran,
Delran.
South Jersey. So I live here, but a lot of my students want to see me. I said, not now. Not now, because of the situation. I don't want to accept anybody at home. If you want, we'll talk over the phone. If you have questions, But I cannot really teach now. I can only advise you. So what's the use of coming here? Let's talk over the phone. If you need anything, they just want to see me. I said, well, we'll just wait until everything is normal. Because I have a kidney transplant too. That's why it's easy for me to catch things. That's why the doctor said, no, don't go out so much. Because you might catch, this is a virus, it's easy for you. So, if anybody wants, you can always call,
on video chat. We can have video chat, always.
Yeah. But I'm preparing even though I lose everything. I lose my strength. I lose my weight. Can you imagine 5 months in the hospital? Wow.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But the Lord gave me another chance. Maybe to continue martial arts.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do a program for the Philippines education. We include martial arts education now to the school. Actually, we already have, but we have to the Department of Education has to approve it because we have equivalent to the ranks. We have bachelors in martial arts. We have masters in martial arts, and probably we have doctorate in martial arts, martial arts philosophy. I saw that in Japan when I went there because I trained in Goju College. They were not teaching karate; they were teaching karate education, not really Goju. They teach you basic, which is common to all. So we'll wait until everything is normal.
Yeah. That's what we're waiting for, because actually we were trying to get a program where it was more on the military side. I forgot what we were calling that. Something something millimeter, But hopefully, maybe in January, if we can get you down to Atlantic City, and Joe is the MC for all the seminars you can meet, and he also has
right now,
What's that?
Now, we're looking to push back the date to next September.
You know what? I would go for that. I think I would go for that. Better. Yeah.
Anything that is even military training is basic. You know.
Yeah.
You hear that from all these masters. Oh, I thought I went to Maryland to visit a workshop, and suddenly they were talking about an instructor in the Philippines. You know, when I gave them they knew that I was instructor of the NBA Academy. So they were like, you know, they were so nice with me. You know, one of them wanted to kiss my hand. I said, I don't do that. I just shake hands. When Ferdy invited me to that workshop, when Grandmaster Tortalo, and Ferdy wanted me to show a little, I said, no, that is his show.
Mm-hmm.
Let him show. And then I just, after that, I will show them how we respect the old school. Because he was telling me, no, I know you from before. I think he saw me before when I went to Bacolod with Waki. So he's from Bacolod. So,
that was one of my my achievements. My proudest achievement of 2018 was bringing both the Grandmaster Nene and Grandmaster Lou together. Two legends. We had the two legends.
After the training, everybody was, you know, naturally in the Philippines, Bigo and Manopo is the hand of the instructor, you know. So I was waiting. My students was, I said, I went there. I knelt, got the hand. The old man didn't want to give his hand. You're a grandmaster. No, you're older than me. Let's show them that respect, you know. The most important thing that a student should do is respect for the school, respect for the, you know. That is something that is not any more popular now in martial arts. They come to you, you train, then, you know, they leave. They wanna teach you what you want to do. Want to teach them. I said, I cannot teach you what you want me to teach you. I'll teach you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not used to. That's how it is. I said, that's why Grandmaster Consal, I was happy. I was telling Birdie, it's my first time to meet him, and then suddenly he knew me from the old days.
That was good.
So,
yeah. Thank you for your knowledge. You know, Tom, to answer your question earlier, yeah, we were gonna do the talk about Cobra Kai, and then Mick comes in and he never seen it, so we didn't want to spoil it for him. So we, you know, and then what? Can you believe that he never seen Cobra? And
it's funny because I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Please.
Go, Tom. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's really funny because I literally have to call Martin Cove tomorrow.
Really? I want to meet him.
I'm training with a gentleman, Michael Pacina, from Gordon de Vasola's Okinawa Te, and he worked on a film with Martin called Steel Justice. And in the film, he had to use double wakazashis, and he taught him that from that particular tradition. So the other day on Instagram, on Martin's account, he wore his old Okinawa Te gi, the patch on it. So I was going to contact him and give him Michael Pacina's number so he could call him, because I know he would love to hear from him.
Awesome. I saw him one time in Atlantic City. He's a little guy. I said, Cobra Kai never dies. And he just smiled and just walked by. But he's a little guy, but you know, that show was,
How proud the others are.
yeah.
You know? Well, Mark, yeah.
Yeah, where's that noise coming from? Is that you, Tom?
What a surprise. Thank you. So glad you let me know about this. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, you know, you're one of us, man. You're in the chat. You know, you come on anytime when we do this.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I was like right in the middle of 5 different things.
Yeah, I understand.
Video, because in a new book with Jeremy, line act there for Whistle Kick. He just did a new book, and I'm featured in it, and blew my mind, and I had to talk about that, and then I was talking to one of the other people that's in the book that I didn't know about it, so I watched his Whistle Kick thing, Bannon Baliso. Man, this guy is like one of like the main martial arts movers and shakers for helping out schools in America right now. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even know about him until I read the book and then watched the video. I'm talking to you. I'm doing this. I filmed that video, and I'm online with Bannon. So life's not boring.
Life is never boring for a martial artist.
Never boring.
Not for us. Yeah.
I'll let you gentlemen go again. Up on my yesterday. I pleasure finding meeting the man behind one of the legends in Filipino martial arts.
I'll make sure that you meet him in person. I will personally introduce him. So, I'm about bringing all us martial artists together because we're a special breed and we're a fun breed.
I'm excited.
And then the rest of the guys seem to be showing the Bram Frank knives.
Yeah, I'm very excited to, meet you guys, Yeah. I hope everything is normal, and then maybe I could explain to you how it's done. Because I was a fighter, and then before I became a referee. Mm-hmm. In a court, so I was complete, and then the Philippines sent me to a school. I was the only one, went to the University of Philippines, a special school for monitoring officers. So I handled Taekwondo under me, archery, Wushu. I was handling it. I was monitoring that, meaning to say, I look at how they develop for the SEA Games. So maybe the guys in the Philippines, they think that, I said, I don't know if I'm still the things that the program that you use will still work now, But in stick fighting, like I said, my students are very, very good in combat, because the stick fighting is really combat, That's why we have the puntas, patro puntas. In combat, we strike you with a point of the stick, because the point of the stick can shatter your bone. Now, most of the styles in stick fighting art, we go middle range. They practice middle range. So I don't really teach that, unless you go to the middle range. I always teach long range. If you can come in by Cruzada long range, then you're lucky. Because my strikes are, doble rapido is powerful, circular power, So, like I said, master, the first system is about quadrant strike. We call it Cruzada. I only change it to the real system of teaching and education, because in the Philippines each style has its own classical system. You know, like you see some modernists they love Shinawari. You know, when you see that, you already know that style. We ma- we don't look at that. We train in all the classical system. So whatever you come, and then for the big training from the Dos Generales, we go down to now from the forehand backhand, we go back to the forehand backhand at the end. You know, when everything is part of you, it's just a chain reaction. This is my system is about that. As soon as you know,
Grandmaster,
especially, yeah, very important, especially me, I specialize in VIP security, you know.
That's what we want to learn. Tito Lu, Joe has a question.
I was going to make a comment. You know, you sit there and say, oh, I was a fighter. No, you were one of the top fighters in the Philippines in karate in your prime. You were a stinking legend in the karate circuit. You were somebody who was feared in karate circuits in Goju in the Philippines. Let's call it like it is. You were one tough fighter in your day.
Oh,
You can't get through a conversation about karate in the Philippines and fighting without mentioning your name. And I'll tell you, so that like you kind of I was a fighter. No, you were one of the top fighters. That's what you mentioned about the tournament being called as one of the ref, and you're asking why? Because you were beating the daylights out of people in karate competition. That's why.
You have a new fan, Tito Lu. You have a new fan.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I said my student did something for me about the circular system. I sent it to the high block, middle block, bottom block, Kapaki Uke, and then the Mawashi Uke. So tricircular is nothing but Mawashi Uke. You know? So you do that with a stick, horizontal, 3 points, you know. So everybody, and then the forms. One guy was calling me. He said, "Guru, we are practicing the 24 what's this? 24 abecedario 24." I said, "Go on, continue that, and then when you master that basic form for black belts for beginners, then you put down the classical system into that as counters. That's how it is. And then when you master that, because what I want to is your chain reaction to an attack. You cannot tell me, I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna use this, you know. When somebody attacks you and the system is already part of you, you just react. Now, if you master all those things, it will not come as what you train for, but it will just come out whatever comes out. You know. So I was telling Tom if we could do panampal with Kyuso.
Yep.
That would be
Bertie,
Yes.
excuse me. Bertie, Graham Frank is going to try to join us.
Yeah, I saw that thing.
He's getting his Kindle. So,
Oh.
I sent him an invite.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I saw that your thing. Good, good. Wow, the party's just getting merrier and merrier. Mhm. That's great. That's great, dude. I'm so excited. I'm glad that, the one thing that I'm really excited is when Grandmaster Lou starts showing his what he taught and what he was using over in the Philippines for especially the security work that he did for President Marcos. That's one thing, you know, everything that he learned and he was able to apply in the field. Because I think, you know, that's the best experience, is the experience in the field, and him being a career military man over there. And like Joe said, a legend in karate in the Philippines. You know. So, Tom, why don't you welcome your friend and introduce?
Yeah, well,
Tom.
so anyway, those are my experience. If I get well, then we can start with it again and explain.
There we go.
Okay.
Calm down, right?
Yeah, Tom, make your introductions, please.
Okay, joining us now is Bram Frank, who's legendary in knife making.
Wait, is he the real Bram Frank, not a clone?
He might be the one. We're not sure yet.
But are you the clone, Tom? We don't know that.
I don't know. I don't have my cup of Joe. I'm going to tell you. There's a cat.
Okay.
It's not real. It's not real.
Good evening, Master.
Good evening, Grandmaster.
Brady
Good evening. Good evening, sir. I'm Ferdy. I'm the owner, or I guess the host of this chat forum, and also this live Facebook broadcast. Yeah, thank you, Tom. Sometimes I'm a lost for words. Yeah. And we have with us Kempo Joe Rebello, Grandmaster Lou Liedo, Tom. I don't know if it's the Tom, and Andres. Yeah. So
Joe, how are you feeling?
I don't even know how I got invited into this room right now. This is
because you're paying me.
You're good, man. Just looking for your photo. I got screens. Have one corner doesn't have you in it. What's going on, guys? Coming at 6, we're sitting in the corner. Hold on, I'm gonna go get my earbuds. Hold on.
Okay.
I got 5 screens active and 1 blank one in the lower right-hand corner. I don't know why he's not there.
He's getting his earbuds.
So Bram Frank is the designer. Should we do the plugs?
Do the plugs.
Designer that we all love.
Do the plugs. The knives. Show your knives, everybody. Show the blades.
Hang on, I'm gonna try to switch.
Here's my dogs.
he's getting.
I don't
his
see
ear-
Bram.
headphones.
He's getting his earbuds.
Oh,
Jesus, Lou, thank you so much for that was an awesome journey into your journey and the way you teach and your philosophy.
Oh,
And I feel honored to be able to sit in and
you should be honored, bro. You're in with legends. You're in with the legend, Tom, and me.
Well, I'm always
You're with the legends, Tom, and myself, brother.
I always tell my kids.
Kempo Joe. I don't know if I said hello to Kempo Joe yet.
Yeah.
Where is he? What's he doing?
He's getting his Bram's getting his earbuds.
yeah, but for Bram, I've got 6. I got 5. Got 6 screens. It's working. Hold on.
Calm down. Un momento, por
It's
favor.
got my camera's reversed.
He's taking care of Brom, switching out
How do I
the Skinwalker for.
How do I change the camera?
Tito Lu, did you ever meet Remy?
There should be square screen with like the cycle kind of symbol with or the JKD yin yang arrows, and if you hit that, it should flip it around.
You tap the screen.
I just did.
So when you click and you see the taskbar, Bram, you're going to see the camera, then you'll see the file with the double arrows. That's the one you want to click.
It's got a little arrow on the... I don't see anything. Hold on.
What kind of phone does he have?
Just click.
I'm not on my phone. I'm on my Kindle.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It should still.
I was on before. I don't know what happened. I plugged in my head.
Yeah, it should be a little
Bram,
camera.
Tap the screen. Tap the screen, and you should see an icon on that screen with a file folder with two rotating arrows, like a yin yang.
That's what I thought, but I don't see anything. I see all of your screens. It was on before. Oh, I see it. Never mind.
Hey, there you go.
It was on a different taskbar.
There you go. All right. All right.
There we go.
So I have a question for Tito Lou.
No problem.
Tito Lou. Tito Lou, have you ever met Remy? Tito Lou?
My memory now is not so sharp anymore.
Si Remy daw,
Huh?
si Remy. Remy Presas ba?
Maybe.
Amit mo na daw ba si Remy Presas?
Kung
I met Remy.
He did.
Si Remy Presas.
Yeah, just one.
Remy. Yeah. We were part of when Remy came. I was with Philippine Karate Association. Remy came to he was teaching in one of the international schools, and then he came to PKA. Remy is more their karate is like mix, so he came there so that they will be recognized too. That's where he got his recognition. Remy, I consider him as one of the best master teacher in stick fighting because he was teaching education, but some of his people didn't want that, like I don't care what you say. I see Remy as one who made stick fighting art very popular around the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but he has his own style, but artists, there is nothing different. All of them are the same. It's how you teach the art. It's how Remy can teach. He loves, there's also mix. The mix is jiu-jitsu. That's why when we were in PKA, during our time, he used to go around. He used to go around the school and propagate his stick. And his brother was with me in the Philippine Air Force. We both are from 520, Ernesto. So when every time I see him, it's like the last time I saw him, he said, you better take care of yourselves, He had, there's something wrong with his system. Too much training, too much, because sometimes they teach for long hours, from one class to the other, just unused. Not, so I met Remy. He was a great friend. And then I met him again when he came to the Philippines after 10 years. He went to my university with all these people, and he wanted to have a workshop in my university. I said, go ahead. everything is free. Just don't charge by students because it's a state university. If you want to charge them, maybe 5 pesos. It's not even a dollar. No, but you can charge. You know, the school is open because you want also the school to be popular. Like Remy Presas came to Cavite State University. You know, it's something for us. During our time, we were happy to. We had the chance to meet everybody in martial arts, even me, to meet these people. But during the karate days, you will you will only see that when there are demonstrations. Remy will show and his brother machetes standing on the table and then during machetes, spot here, spot there. Yeah, but all of these are prearranged. Prearranged. That's why even me when I teach 12 basic strike, I put the defense because it's still forehand, back and forth. I do double stick first so that left-handed student will learn. So if you teach one stick, as most of them, then the left-handed people or the right-handed people, you have to teach them again. So you teach double stick. I teach double stick. I start with a forehand, and then even my drills, both of us are striking each other. Both of us are defending. It's not one feeding. The combat, nobody will just feed you like that, and nobody will just block you like that. You have to know how to block. If he is moving 50 miles an hour, you have to move 50 miles an hour to block the stick or pass sticks. You call it. So Remy, rest his soul, was a good teacher. For me, the way I look at it, Yeah. During the awards night, I invited his daughter to read. I gave him an award. My workshop, when I went to the Philippines, So I have to get. Then gave everybody. I only remember those. Because the part is hard. We go to the Philippines, we spend our own money. You know how it is. It's hard. It's hard to like martial arts in the Philippines. During my time, it was free. It was one-on-one. I used to bring coffee and bread early in the morning just to learn it from my. So that's why at Karate Kid, when I look at it, it has similarities. Similarities what I'm doing. So anyway, that's how I think of Amy, of Remy Presas. So
Anybody have any questions for Grandmaster Lou regarding martial arts in the Philippines?
No, I'm used to the Philippines because I live in Cebu.
Oh,
That's you know Bram Frank, Grandmaster Tito Lou, one of Remy's students.
oh,
Yeah, my wife and I live in Bogo City, Cebu. I happen to be in Florida right now.
it's nice city. It's
Yes.
changed a lot. I used to
Yes,
go to
it
Cebu.
has.
I used to go to Cebu during the world. I used to go around and do tournaments in karate. I was chief referee. I used to go to Cebu, and most of them I know. Some of them when we had the Philippine team to go to Long Beach for the World Championship, one of them is Cebu. You know? So, take fighting art in Cebu. That's the only city that you will see a lot of good organizador.
Yeah, in Cebu City, in Cebu City itself, because you got the whole Cañetes there. Bobby Tobada's down there, because I see Bobby when I'm there. Bobby Tabamina.
Yeah.
So,
according to my friend, most of these masters now are sick. You know, some are doing dialysis. You know, you're telling me. But I only go there for tournaments in karate before. I met Cañete. Because they're part of Big Karate Association. Artists are not popular yet in Manila. It was popular in Cebu.
yeah, well, you still have all that Spanish culture there. And, you know, the Cañete families from that whole region. But Junie's okay. Junie's still down there. You know, Bobby's here in America right now, but when I see Bobby, we go to Cebu together because believe it or not, he was trying to set up a pig farm like we had. But Remy, I've been to the Philippines with Remy since 2002. In 2004, you know, because he passed in 2001, I didn't actually make it there till 2002, and then 2004, I went with Roland for the 60th anniversary of World War II.
Roland Dantes? You went with Roland Dantes?
Yes. Yeah, because Roland was one of Remy's best friends.
Yeah.
So Roland was my kuya, and Cristino Vasquez had adopted me into his family. He was Remy's first cousin. He lived across the street from Remy. And, you know, Renee Thompson lived just down the street. So when Remy used to talk about being in the Sipa and watching and hiding from the bushes, that was Cristino Vasquez he was hiding with while they watched his grandfather, father, and uncle teach. But Roland Dantes took me, was my kuya, and took me around to the different police stations to meet Colonel Chris, General Venezuela, and then continue on and rep with him and teach with him there. And when Vicente Sanchez was still alive, Vicente, you know, was part of that original group with Remy.
Now, Cristino Vasquez, he's a student of Ernesto, and then he also plays with
Yeah. Well, almost all of them may have started with Remy, but when Remy left, because, you know, Roland was the one assigned to actually go kill him. You know, when Marcos wanted him gone.
Wait, excuse me. Marcos wanted who gone?
So,
Wait, who did Marcos want gone?
President Marcos put a death sentence with General Veer on Remy's head.
Really?
He signed it to Roland Dantes, not knowing Roland was his friend.
Really?
So Roland took him to the airport, confiscated his diplomatic passport, left him his personal passport, stuck him on a plane with a bag of sticks, and that's how he came to America.
Damn.
And then reported, I found his passport, but I couldn't find him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because
Wait, why did Marcos have a price on his head?
Because a lot of the soldiers, a lot of people were more loyal to Remy, and he was worried about an uprising. And General Veer didn't want to lose power because Remy was in charge of a lot of the martial arts organizations and had become, as Grandmaster had said, famous for the sticks and what he was doing, and his popularity put him in a spot that General Veer, who wanted to take over everything, and Marcos were worried about Remy being a figurehead for a revolution against them.
You know, I heard a story. I don't know if it's true. I think that's also what happened to Eddie Joffrey. There was the same thing happened to Eddie Joffrey.
Yeah. And It's happened to a few. So it's just irony that the man they picked to go assassinate Remy
was his friend,
Roland Dantes.
Mr. Philippines. He was a bodybuilder in the Philippines for Tom. He was like Mr. Philippines.
For a long time, Mr. Philippines, and good friends with Arnold and Franco.
Yeah.
And when they assigned it to Roland, like I said, went to Remy and said, "I have to take you out of here now, and I'll confiscate your diplomatic passport." Tell him I found it at the house, but I couldn't find you. And literally brought him to a plane, stuck him on a plane, and that's when he sent him here in like '75. That's why Remy didn't go back home to the Philippines for all those years.
Until Marcos was overthrown in '86.
The only time when he went there, he came to meet in the university.
Yeah.
So, the first time also, when he came to America for the World Championship, he invited us to saw his demonstration, but the students were not very sharp yet in his stick. So we told him, why don't we, the Philippine team, show them the stick art,
That makes sense.
We met him. So all those years,
Wow.
all this. Tongson was a student of Ernesto, but Tongson is back and forth. Ernesto, he came to me at home. I don't know him. Told me I'm a sixth dad of Ernesto. I said, I'm the chief referee. I'm not acquainted with the karate of Ernesto. But we belong to 520 Philippine Air Force. He teaches the military self-control. So, we're friends with Erning, The last time I saw him before he died, I went to his school. My student was videoing our conversation on the people, So anyway, they're both friends of mine. They're both good instructors, In fact, when I said combat, Erning is very good in combat because he's a military man. Remy was education. Remy was the first one who taught the education department. That's why he was recognized as professor.
Yes.
Yeah. Very nice guy. Very friendly, but when he does his workshop, he will throw you down to the floor. He will let you feel what he wants to do. He has so many things. It's like, when he came to me, I was surprised. The university, he said, "Oh, I thought you only want to do karate. Now you're doing stick." I said, when you go to America, karate is hard to teach in America. If you teach karate in America, then, unless you're Korean or Japanese or what, But Filipino, you don't have to be very good because they think Filipino are good in sticks. So, but anyway, all of us in the Philippines, we learn stick at a younger age. Most of us, our grandfathers learned stick. That's why it's only Remy. When Remy came to Manila, it became formalized, the teaching. The teaching was formalized. So that's it, I regard him as both of our brothers are so great in teaching. So, well, rest their soul. Rest their soul,
Well, Berto, the youngest is still alive. Berto still teaches in Hinagaran. Bert,
yeah.
Roberto, the youngest, still teaches in Hinagaran.
Yeah. I know Celestino. Is he still alive?
No, Cristino passed.
Yeah, I know he passed. Who else? most of students are Soteco took over.
Santeco, he's still alive, Santeco.
When Remy left the Philippines, he took over as president. But during that time, they were trying to really build that. It's different what Remy was teaching. Then when he came to America, that's where he really showed his art.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the way he teaches. Something new. Still finding out.
Yeah. Well, Remy lets you take the art and make it part of your own, rather than making you change and leave what you did.
Yeah.
He's the one who started seminars here. Seminar teaching was Remy's thing, and to give you recognition for what you did with it. Because, as you said, he's, an education major.
Yeah, he's always like, they call him king of workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, every time he does a workshop, everybody, think is full.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the chance to meet him again in America. Only when he came to the Philippines after 10 years, I met him. So,
Yeah, I spent 21 years with Remy.
Oh, here in the States?
Yes, I spent 21 years with him here in the States as a personal first-generation student. And then he adopted me into the family, and so did Cristino. And I never made it to the Philippines with Remy. I ended up going with Roland and everything, but that's when I started going back to the Philippines.
Yeah.
That's how I met my wife.
Roland Dantes, he came when my son died, in the wake of my son. He came with Diva Isip, with Imat, and Tong Song, and who's this, the other guy? Soteco. He wanted me to go back to Modernanis. I said, I have my own system now, I have my system. I'm more of education. If I go back to your system, it's hard because during that time, you have to be in the Philippines, and I'm in America. I cannot be going to the Philippines. It's so hard. So anyway, I met Roland. He said, Roland's brother, I used to coach him in karate. Roland's brother. So, I was thinking that Roland was the one that could make Arnis people get together, because he's,
Well, he was about, that's what Shashir wants, too. Mr. Turtle. Shashir and Roland were real big on everybody getting together. Even Raymond Vallejo. Raymond wants everybody together.
Yeah, but how it is, politics, So, it's been a long time, but...
Yeah, Shashir and Akala, exactly.
Yeah, I know Shashir.
What's that?
He came here.
Yeah, Shashir's here. But he still has his place outside, outside Manila.
Yeah, they all...
Does he still have a studio in Canada?
Yeah, he still has a place in Vancouver. His main place is, he built a giant farm training area. I just drawing a blank. North of Manila.
North of Manila.
Off on the far coast. And he teaches out of Virginia, too. He and Dada used to come stop at my house in Clearwater, taking a break. They just show up and come, sleep there for a few days and take off. I used to teach in Vancouver, BC a lot, so I'd see him and his guys up there.
Yeah. They're all,
I just talked to Shashir last week.
so they're all over. Modernist people are all over. That's why it's a very big organization. You know, very big. I met some of them in America. I was at the Master Teachers Association. Some of them joined me. But they were quarreling. That's why I didn't like them. You know? I said sometimes, I was promoted Dato.
Dato.
Let's not talk about that. I said, because what is important there is one organization. You know? If you stick together, then you're stronger. You know? But that is it. In martial arts, not only the style. Even in the Philippines, in old days, it's all about, you know, you cannot tell the masters, you know, they have their own. I'm the best. Now I said, now you have to participate in the tournament to see the reality of your techniques. But like I said, you cannot use sticks. I don't know. Somebody wanted to be like mixed martial arts, but Filipino martial arts is mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
can start with sword and end up in empty hand.
Maybe Paul. I think that instead of mixed martial arts, I would use complete martial arts.
Yeah, it's a complete universal. I call it universal martial arts, which is everything is there. I have a sword. I don't have a sword. I have a stick. I don't have a stick. I can translate it to doble baston, espada y daga, con baston, you know.
Tom, credit card.
You know, there's so many things that up to now I'm still studying it. I was telling my student, Guru, I'm already. I said, I did not learn the art for 10 years. More than 10 years. I started 1964 with Kyokushin. Then I went to Goju, went to Shorin-ryu. You know, in the Philippines, we go to different schools, but they're all accepted. Because during the time, karate, but already Arnis was already in Cebu. Out of Manila, you see the people, like in my place, Zamboanga. I'm from Zamboanga, southern Philippines. They were asking me, oh, no, you know how to do the stick? I said, I didn't learn stick, I learned sword. I learned sword, I translated it to stick. So it's all the same. The most important thing is, you know, the quadrant, right? We call it Cruzada, the first systema. Well, Remy always teaches Kinamali, you know. Because in Kinamali, you can do long race, you can do middle race.
So
And
was
you-
there a big difference from like Northern Islands to Southern Islands?
Yeah.
And you will
One
see
more time.
the Remy, you will see the forehand backhand of Remy. He blocks with the forehand, catch your stick, strike you with a backhand. So backhand is the deadliest weapon of our nest. If you know how to see it, I saw a tournament between Illustrissimo,
Oh.
one young guy, was, you know, and Illustrissimo, he struck Illustrissimo on the arm during a demonstration. And he was like, oh, he was young, strong. The old man said, I thought you were just demonstrate. He said, no, you're master, you should show. So the next time we did, I was telling her black and he came into the abanico, right on the head. It shattered the head of the guy. And, you know, I don't advise them. I said, as much as possible, if we could use potted sticks, potted sticks, so that the parents, will enjoy. And then we have to use armor so that they will enjoy. Because during the old days, there were no armors. I don't know, during the time, we were with Remy for 20 years. Their tournament, they do not, I don't know, there was no tournament at that time, It's all instructional. But now it's...
Well, Remy always wanted it to be an Olympic sport and be a full sport as well as be the art of the Philippines. And because of Gloria Arroyo finally putting it through in Remy's honor, that's where the Republic Act 892 that came through, making it the official sport culture, because that was done in 10 years after Remy's death, that she passed, that the bill was passed.
That is why when I put my association, it is in line with Republic Act 9850.
Yeah.
When I told, when I met Senator Subiri, he came to my school, and then I told him about it, I gave him an award, part of that harness law.
Right.
That's why I'm more on, when they ask me, I'm more of basic. Even Remy knows me very well. He knows me very well. I'm close to him because he comes to our school. In that time, they come to your school and saw your art. They can trade with everybody, but it was Remy who really went around to.
That was his goal. That was his goal, to make sure everybody knew that our niece was there, not taekwondo, not karate, not judo, that the art of the Philippines needed to be recognized and it needed to be taught. There's so many people in the Philippines who have their own art now, but they started with modern arnis. They started in school with Remy.
Yeah, that was our PE in high school. That was our PE, was modern arnis.
Yeah. My wife, when she was in school, she had no idea. When I met her, she goes, oh, you do stick fighting? And I said, well, I'll do modern arnis. She goes, oh, they taught me that in school.
Mm-hmm.
They taught her basic stuff, outside of Tabagan.
So anyway, there are a lot of Remy students, They propagated the art when Remy left, So it's like, when you go to Cebu, who do you train with there?
Oh, I don't go train with anybody. Well, I go see Bobby Tabamina, I see Bobby Tuvada. I pay my respects, but I teach. I'm 67. I teach my own when I'm there. When I go to Cebu, I go home. My home is Cebu.
Oh, Cebuano.
Yeah, well,
you speak Visaya?
First cousin, Grandmaster Felix Roles.
Yes.
He and Nova are cousins. And, Doug Mercaida. Doug's from Cebu right there, and he's like a second or third cousin.
I thought Doug was from Rochester. Maybe his family's from Cebu.
Doug's from Cebu originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody, but he's from Australia. He also married somebody in Cebu. I forgot his name. I thought it was you. I was smoking with you. But they trained with the Cañete.
Right.
Yeah. But you know,
Remy sent me to meet Junie and Don Cuesta and Kokoi back in 92, 93. They were doing a big seminar. So Remy sent me to go see them in Central Florida.
Don Cuesta's in Jersey now.
Yeah, well, he was. He was down to teach.
Yeah.
He was down in Florida because Kokoi was there in Junie running a camp. So that's where I got to meet him originally back then. He's still up in Jersey, but he came down to teach at the camp.
I was at his school 2 years ago when I hosted Grandmaster Nene Tortal. I brought him up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope we'll have the chance to meet, in the future.
Where are you now, sir? Where do you live now?
I'm in Elron, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm down in Hollywood, Florida right now.
Let's all go take a trip. Let's take a trip to Florida.
How long are you in Florida for?
How long have I been in Florida?
No, how long are you going to be in Florida?
Oh, I actually, this is my permanent home. I traveled to Cebu just to see Nova, and then she just finished college. I sent her back to school. So when Nova's done, she just graduated, just gave her certificate this past week.
Congratulations.
She spent 5 years in school, and then we're working on getting her passport, then her visa, and we'll travel back and forth because I'm very at home in the Philippines, but I'm in my actual home. She'll come live with me here.
Okay.
So
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Send me your address via PM.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to get that fit interview. Yeah. How's your leg, by the way? Wasn't it your leg that you hurt?
Yeah, my left knee. I about a week and a half ago, I pulled a tendon on the left side of my left knee, and then on Tuesday, and both times, no martial arts. I was walking down a set of stairs, I pulled a tendon, and then I was walking up the block from my studio, and I felt something tear in the back of my knee.
Ooh, not a
And
tear.
I don't know if it's my calf or my knee. I know I was just talking to one of the top sports medicine guys in the state who's going to see me. I told him I contacted his office and nobody got back to me. He was not happy.
Yeah.
So he's going to get to me. He's going to get in touch with them. I'm going to get in touch with me and take a look. Yeah.
Okay. Well, several months ago, I was just reaching for a shelf, and I tore 2 intercostal muscles around my ribs, and they popped out.
Ugh.
And the doctor said, "Were you fighting or teaching?" I said, "No." I reached up to a shelf of all stupid things.
That's age. That's age. Hey, Andres.
Stuff like that happening. It's not when we're not ready. We're just doing normal stuff. We get hurt.
So, Andres, do you have a question? Because Tom said you had a question. Was there something you wanted to ask?
Way back.
I forgot. I'm just happy to listen to all y'all. Thank you for letting me.
All right. Don't worry, Andres. You'll get my bill. I'll send it in the mail.
GC Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom, I'm waiting for my 2 knives.
Well, they said they were shipped yesterday, I believe, right?
All right.
Yeah, I shipped them yesterday.
I'll come down.
Stop it.
There you go. I'm just worried. When I go to New York, if I'm gonna see the, am I gonna see the real Tom?
There you go.
Tom Gallo, or is it gonna be a clone?
I'm not sure if Tom's real.
I don't know.
One more time.
Watch out.
I don't think he is real.
With Graham knives.
You don't know.
He doesn't know. That's all right. Now, I too, guys, I went for a biopsy on my pancreas. It's not cancerous, but it affected my whole system.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to be careful, Paul. You have to be careful, Paul.
Yeah, when you're at age like me now, I lose everything. For 5 months, I was in the hospital, and I'm just recovering. That's why I'm happy that we have this program. It energized me. To talk to
That's good.
people like you, that it gives me back my energy.
Yeah. Well, we're happy, Paul, to have you on, Paul. We're always happy to have you on.
Yeah, I'm happy because Ferdy has this program, and I'm able to meet you guys. I'm not. I'm just a normal teacher, that loves to teach martial arts education. Well, we passed that stage, fighter. I represented the Philippines in karate in Long Beach, made 4th place out of 44 countries, and I was given an award as the youngest international referee. But everybody was looking at me, like, And I also, there's a lot of stories about me. That's why Perdy was asking me, teachers. I said, I've been around, all teachers. I went around because, especially like Wonky, Philippine Karate Association wants me to study the forms that they're gonna do. It's not because I went there to really train. I went there to train with them. Yamaguchi, I went there to study the art and to see what I'm gonna use. When I came back, I translated the Goju style into martial arts education, FMA. That's why when you see, I sent 30, one of my students who did a video about me, the forms that I do, the cinco tiros, and all the explanation, the cinco tiros, which starts from the cinco tiros is, you will see it in Dos Generales, the 12 strikes, So that's how much I know, and I'm still studying the art. And I'm happy to be meeting you, and thankful that you accept my small knowledge of my art.
Thank you, Paul, for sharing this. And I want to thank everybody also for coming on here. When I edit this and put this on YouTube, I'm gonna call this the Night of Legends, because we're all here legends except Tom. Tom's a clone. Tom's a clone. So I'll call it the Night of Legends and one clone.
I'm the one.
Well, actually, he may not be the clone,
He doesn't. I found out he's a clone. He doesn't eat meat.
What?
He's a clone.
Where's the eating while we're doing this?
Yeah. Where in the world is Tom Gallo?
You got pizza. Everybody's. I'm like, it's like 10. It's on like 11:30 at night right now, guys. I'm like, geez, well, you guys are late even spot.
Joe, I just got off the phone with Nova. I was ready to call it a night and sent the quick picture to Tom, and Tom goes, "Do you want to come on?" And I'm like, "You know what time it is?"
Yeah, we started at 9. We started at 9.
Get early,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't sleep all night, because the Philippines is a 12-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So I'm up all night because I got it. Nova was going to call me back. And I send late night notes to Tom because we're on Instagram.
I love it. I love it. Oh, it's great.
I'll go to bed like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Make me jealous.
Yeah.
But what's funny was like the original topic we were going to talk about the Cobra Kai series, and Mick was on, and Mick didn't see it, so we didn't want to spoil it. And then all of a sudden, you know, Tito Lou was talking about. We were talking about the Karate Kid, and Tito Lou with his relationship with Yamaguchi Sensei, and that's how this all started. You know. So I just love this. I love that we come on, we share, we have a lot of fun, and I hope that, you know, that people that out there that get to watch this enjoy it. This is our probably our longest. This is has to be the longest broadcast we've ever done. And I just want to thank everybody for staying. We're all on the East Coast for staying up.
Well, no, I appreciate Tom and you guys having me on because actually I just been on with Dean Franco with Daniel Ferranda. You know, Mumbo Kai.
Right.
You know, because Dan and I both teach in Russia.
I always wanted to go to Russia. I was supposed to go to Russia 2 years ago with my old girlfriend Katya.
So this episode, Bertie.
What?
This episode is brought to you by the Bram.
Yeah. Oh, it's also brought to you by what's your photographer? What's your daughter's name? Alexa? Which the one that does photography? Christina, right?
Christina,
yeah. Yeah, Chris. What is it? www.christina.gallo. Yeah. And her photography is better than her father's martial arts, believe me.
Thanks.
Well, I don't know if it's the real, you know, the real Tom Gallo. Please stand up.
I haven't had a good cup of snow. I don't know if it's me.
Yeah. If he had his Joe, he'd be there. I proved it was me, right? I showed you. No Cafe Cubano, but I've got a cat.
It's not real.
It's real.
If he starts speaking in Cebuano or Bisaya, then I'll know it's the real him. And I don't even understand Bisaya.
I can't speak Tagalog. I can't speak the local. I'm sitting at the table with my family, you know, and they're speaking Cebuano, and I'm like, I actually understand that. I didn't realize that Cebuano is just bastardized Spanish.
Oh no, you're talking about Chibicano. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the
Cebuano, regular Cebuano is the language of Cebu is just bastardized Spanish.
I know Chibicano is that.
Tom doesn't believe here. Come here. Come on.
It's CGI.
Yeah.
I like your statues of all those Marvel superheroes.
Oh, you mean like those?
Oh yeah. I like, holy shit. He's a comic book nerd like me.
Sam, you got a starter. Want to see a collection? I'll show you a collection.
Batman. Da 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 da. Batman.
I don't even have them all set up yet. Hang on.
Are we still keeping this online? Or
Hell yeah. This is Legends Night. Part 1. Batman.
Yeah, that's part 1. Hold on. We're not done yet. No, we haven't even started yet.
Hey, do you guys realize my dogs haven't bothered me at all?
Yeah.
It's like an hour of pain.
Because your dog's out with the real Tom Gallo. You're the clone.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's some intense Batman.
Oh.
There we go. Batman there.
Yeah. Where's Robin? I told you my. Did I tell you guys my Batman story?
I'm gonna go with no for 500.
Huh?
No.
I definitely am no for. I'll go with Tom. No for 500. Oh, I have to go more. No for 700.
Are you gonna tell us your Batman story or what?
Oh, okay, I think I told you that. No, years ago I was talking to this guy named John Workman, and John Workman was a letterer for DC Comics, and he did Batman. And this was back in 2000, and I told him my concept of Batman. I said he would have been trained as a ninja, and then Batman Begins comes out, and what is he trained as? A ninja. So they stole my idea.
Yeah, Joe.
Hold on.
He's going to the Batcave.
You might know my late father, Robert Gould.
What does that name?
He was an artist illustrator. He was good friends with Kirby and Frazetta. He took me to meet them when I was a kid, and then over the years I've stayed friendly with the Frazetta family, and I'm friends with Lori and Frank Jr. and to help support the museum.
Wait, Jack Kirby?
Wow.
Jack Kirby?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the
used to
king?
run away to Marvel, and my dad would come to the city and get me because he said
Jack?
I wasn't allowed to be a comic artist because my dad was a fine artist and illustrator. And when Joe Cobra did Enemy Ace, my dad went nuts and went, we won't be friends with him anymore because he did German stuff.
Jack King Kirby.
But yeah, I grew up with him and Luke Cormier. And, you know, it was Isaac Asimov and Wolf Wenton are the ones who turned me on to Edgar Rice Burroughs and E. Doc Smith and Robert E. Howard. They used to leave books in because Wolf lived around the corner, and Wolf's wife, she was the librarian at the school where my mom was. So like when Isaac would come to Fairfield University and talk about robotics, I think I was the only kid there. He used to go, is my youngest fan here, is Bram here? And I get the way, maybe, you know, my ego gets swelled, and I wave at him. But I have original Dennis stuff. I have original stuff from, you know, Sean Nagel.
Always remember.
Yeah, there you go. You're Batman. Well, can you see the Wileys up here?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I made the Wileys.
Wow.
There should be, right there is Batman. There's a Batman Wiley right there.
Nice.
But there's, well, the house, I have display cases like you out front that are just filled. But I'm a Marvel guy.
Ugh.
But you have a Pac-Man.
Oh man, I mean, I like the Marvels. I love all the martial arts related ones. You know, Shang-Chi, Iron Fist. I'm a huge Taskmaster fan. I'm really, people, can't you wait to see the Black Widow movie? No, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to take the stinking mask off Taskmaster. It's going to be a woman. And that's going to piss me off to no extent. It was bad enough he made Heimdall black. He was a great actor who portrayed him, but still, how did Heimdall become African American? I'm sorry, laying out on the Arctic tundra in his Speedos?
Yeah,
Man,
exactly. That's what happened. You got it.
Because when that came out, oh man, they were brain aneurysms.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the horror story. They're going to make Taskmaster a woman. I can see it. I look at the body structure and everything and go, there's not a guy under that suit. There's no way it's a guy. It's got to be a woman. And they're going to do that. I'm going to go, what in the blue hell is that?
When is Black Widow coming out? They didn't. I know Wonder Woman they pushed back. Wonder Woman 84 they pushed back to November now.
October.
Hey, tomorrow's DC Fandom.
Yep.
But anyways, I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end the broadcast, but we can still stay on chat. No, guys.
Thank you for having me.
No, I'm just ending the broadcast, but we can still stay on video chat if you guys want to chat.
I gotta go off my dogs.
Okay.
Well, it's 11:35, man.
All right. Bram, I'm gonna send you a friend request, Ferdy.
Okay.
All right. And I'll suggest also.
Bull, Mr. Meeting the Legend. I've seen footage of you. It's a chance to meet you live. Looking forward to it.
Yes. Well, thank you, everybody, and And I still got to figure out if that's the real Tom, because I think the real Tom is out walking his dog. This has got to be a clone.
Oh, see, that's why you're always accusing me of being.
I put it in game. Show me the knife. Graham, don't send me money. I'll send you the video. Just send me the knife. That's me. Why do you bother me like that?
All right, that was a fun night with everybody here. They're still on video chat, but this is Ferdy with Falcon Talk, and I'm going to say good night. Everybody, say good.
I make 8 different blade shapes.
Hey, guys, say good night to everybody.
Now look.
Say good night to the audience, people.
Hey, great
Okay.
night.
Anyways, thank you all. I'm gonna go to bed. I'll see you all of you. Blessings, respect. Be very safe.
We'll do something. We'll do it again Friday. We'll do it again Friday.
Okay.
Figure something. Hey, everybody, go watch Cobra Kai. We'll talk about that. It's a great.
Have a great night.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Again, back to Ferdy, and just want to say good evening, good night to everybody. Thank you all for those that are joining, those that were watching. Originally, we were doing a Cobra Kai, but it turned into Night of the Legends because we didn't want to spoil it for our buddy Mick, who's going to be watching it hopefully all next week. So, good night, everybody, and be safe.
Oh, very good.